In this lesson, we will take a look at Nodemon. Nodemon is a convenient tool that makes development efficient in Node.js environment. To make the upcoming practicals easier, we will first learn how to use Nodemon. Let's open the practice folder with VS Code. I have told you before that to execute the code of a certain JavaScript file in a Node.js environment, you need to enter the node command like this in the terminal. Until last lesson, every time the code of the file was modified, we saved it and then re-entered the node command.
Honestly, it's too bothersome and my hands hurt from continuously typing commands every time I run this code. Wouldn't it be nice if it could just run on its own whenever I simply save the code?
That's exactly the part we're trying to solve in this video. For this, we will install Nodemon. Please enter the following command in your terminal. npm will be covered separately in a future video. For the time being, you can think of it as similar to an app store for Node.js, where you can download and install a variety of libraries. The I stands for install, which signifies that the following library is to be installed. Nodemon is the name of the library we're about to install. The G option means global, implying that the installation is not restricted to a specific project and can be installed globally. That is, you might think of it as installing on this computer. So, by entering this command, a tool called Nodemon gets installed, and you can use it not only in this project, but anywhere in the system. There will be no problem in Windows, but in the Mac environment, you would typically have a permission error like this when you just type it in this way. This is a command installing globally with a G option, so it usually requires system administrator permissions. One way to resolve this is to add the sudo command before it and run it with administrator privileges. But it is not recommended, as it can be dangerous in terms of security. One of the better ways is to have global packages installed in the home directory rather than the system directory, because you can handle the home directory with user permissions. I have posted the commands for setting this up on a Notion page. Mac users can just copy and paste these commands into their terminal and run them. First, enter a command like this to create a folder called npm global in the home directory. In the future, global libraries like Nodemon will be installed in this folder. And set npm to use this directory as the global installation path. Next, you add the location of the global package execution file to the computer's path list. You can think of path as your computer's favorites list. Depending on whether your shell is SSH or bash, you can paste and execute one of these two. But if you don't know, you can paste and run both. Now you are ready to install global packages from npm without administrator permission problems. Now try inputting this command again and execute it. After consuming some time, the installation of the Nodemon package will be completed as such. Now let's run app.js using the Nodemon command instead of Node. As you can see, after a few lines of logs are printed, you can see the results of the code execution. When the Nodemon is running and you modify the code in the document as such and save it, the code is re-executed and you can see that the result has changed like this. Now there's no need to enter a new command every time the code is modified. To terminate the running of Nodemon, simply press the Control key and the C key together. You should keep Nodemon running while you're coding and shut it down when done. Let's learn more about how to use Nodemon. I'm going to create a document called index and write the code like this. If you execute the Nodemon command without attaching the file name like this, it will execute the index.js file in the project folder. Because index document acts as a default entry point in Node.js. To modify this, add an item called main to package JSON like this and enter the file name you want. If you save this, stop Nodemon and enter the Nodemon command again. You can now see app document running. In this way, you can specify the file to be run by default by Nodemon by setting the main item in the package JSON document. Finally, let's look at how to use the Nodemon configuration document. Create a folder named src in the project like this, move app.js there, and create ignore.js in the same location. And please write the code like this. These HTML, CSS documents can be written in any way. Then create a Nodemon JSON document in the project folder like this and write it. This is a document that allows you to write various Nodemon settings in JSON format. Let's learn how to write and use this document. The first is the exec item. This sets the command to be run when the Nodemon command is entered. The app document in the src folder is set to run with the node command. So if you type Nodemon like this in the terminal and press enter, you can see Nodemon starting and the code of the document running. The initial part of the output content, as you can easily see, is the value imported from Node.js using ES module. The values that follow are from the environment variables. I will separately discuss environment variables later. In Nodemon.json, you can specify environment variables to be applied when running Nodemon like this. You can see that the output result came from these set environment variables being used in the app. In the watch item, you write down the names of directories or files to be watched as an array of strings. In other words, if the code inside a directory or file with its name written here is modified, then Nodemon reruns the code. In this project, since we only have the src folder, files inside of it are the ones being monitored. This index file is not part of src folder, hence not monitored by Nodemon. Therefore, as it is, even if its code has been modified and saved, you won't see any changes in the terminal window. Meanwhile, this app file is part of the src folder and therefore it is being watched. So if you modify the app's code like this and then save it, you can see that Nodemon automatically restarts the code and you can see the updated output as a result. In the XT section, you write which file extensions to watch. It is currently set to watch JS, TS, CSS files. Therefore, this HTML document is not a subject of monitoring, even though it's in the src folder. So, after you modify and save it, you can see there's no change in the terminal window. Finally, in ignore, you write what to exclude from monitoring even if the above conditions are met. As in the example, you can put directory names, file names, or regular expressions. This ignored.js document was included in the exceptions. Therefore, although it is a value used in app, when you modify and save it, there is no change in the terminal. This time, I will modify this CSS file, which meets the conditions of the monitored target. Although this document has no association with the app's code, when saved Nodemon restarts the code. So, you can see that the value modified in the ignored document is finally output to the terminal. Thus, by writing the Nodemon JSON document as needed, you can efficiently set up your development environment. We have looked at how to use Nodemon like this. From now on, we will be practicing using this Nodemon. Then I'll see you in the next video.